Welcome back to the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage YouTube channel, everyone. So I have been inspecting the Necchi Supernova Ultra, and I've found a few things to observe. They're not conclusive, but sometimes it's really good to, as you're looking for clues as to what's going on with the machine, you kind of do one thing at a time through the sort of the process of elimination. Sometimes an issue is caused by more than one thing, so you may have more than one thing to address. Now, if you look at this green, what looks like a green screw, it's basically it is a plastic corkscrew shaped extrusion that Necchi used, and they installed it on top of a steel shaft. And you can see, again, when I'm turning it, you see some movement of the piece behind it that rotates. I have been looking at this at many different angles, and so far I have not found any cracks. Very often, again, plastic will degrade over time, especially if it's exposed to rough environments like a lot of heat or a lot of cold. I'm not seeing that, so that's so far so good. I did notice, wow, this belt is really loose. As I mentioned, it's like, well, could that be causing it? Maybe. But then, upon further inspection, the motor is actually not level. Now, these motors are designed, I'll turn this and see if this angle helps you sort of see what I'm seeing. Normally, the way these motors were, Necchi really went to extraordinary lengths to hide the motor and tuck it inside the body to make the machine look beautiful, and Italian design is beautiful. However, there are basically 4 big bolts here. 2 of the bolts are on the base. They hold the bracket, which is plastic, but it's very beefy. They hold this bracket to the base of the motor. And then these 2 bolts are adjustable. They are very difficult to get to, not fun, and they have slots. So where these 2 bolts go, there's an oval shaped slot, and just like you see, as I've shown many times with brackets on the outsides of a machine, that slot is designed so that you can adjust the height of the motor, right? And when you do that, that allows you to adjust the tension on the belt. Well, one of these bolts, the bolt in the far, this one here, it's up higher. You really can't see. Let's see if I can zoom in and show it to you. You almost cannot see any space on that slot. Remember, a slot is like an oval shape, right? And so the motor with the bolt can slide, can move up and down before you tighten it. So if you look here, on the one in the back, there's almost just barely, you can just barely spot a little bit of space where that is. But now look at this one. Look at the second bolt. Look at that. There's a lot of space here. So that explains why this motor, when we pan back, that motor is actually, I don't know if it's easy to see here, but the motor is sort of angled upward, and it should be more level. It doesn't have to be perfectly level, but it needs to be more level than it is. Now, when you're trying to understand what's going on with the machine, sometimes you'll find something that's out of whack or needing adjustment, and you think, well, maybe that's the problem, and you fix it, and you should, and then you discover you still have a problem. I don't know. That may have nothing to do with what's going on with the stitching that the owner is having. But again, sometimes, and it could be that in the past someone tried to change the motor belt, which, it's a good thing, because old motor belts don't last forever. And so it's great. The belt itself seems to be fine. I don't see anything wrong with the belt. But now, did this cause the issue? I don't know, because I don't know. It could have been a prior owner that changed the belt. It could have been a sewing machine shop. Now, you might say, well, if I took it to a sewing machine shop, why would there be any problems? Most sewing repair places, if they still exist in your town, may never have seen a Necchi Supernova. They may be great at fixing newer machines. 1980s machines are considered vintage today. What does it need to be? Is it 25 years or older to be vintage? But they may never have seen this before, and the fact that they were even able to figure out any of it, I think what they may have done is lowered this belt or something to get the belt on, and maybe they didn't have the tool. It's very hard. I have a tool that I use, and even I can do it, but it's not the most convenient thing to do. It takes a while to do it. But there's no grease or grime or crud covering the motor. It looks lovely and gorgeous. So again, the machine is unplugged. I'm not even going to attempt to plug it. I can actually test the stitches without plugging the machine in. I can do it just by using my hand on the hand wheel. And so I'm going to do that and see if I can figure out, okay, is it this? So I think my first thing is to do, I'm going to leave the cover off. I'm going to test the stitching of the machine to see if I'm going to reproduce what the owner is clearly experiencing, and then I'm going to see if I can get the motor back to where it really should be and get the tension on the belt a little bit better and see if that helps. If it doesn't, it's okay. This needed to be done anyway. It needed to be adjusted. So, hey, and the owner did ask me to go through the machine anyway, so we might fix the problem or we might not. So if I go through the machine, and this is typically what I like to do, is I like to fix, if there's an obvious problem, I like to fix that first, because there's no point in going through the machine if I can't get it to work. In this case, I'm going to, because I know that loose belts can cause problems with getting a machine to do what it needs to do, I may go ahead and just do that, right? Because again, I have to get this machine running, or I don't get any compensation for it. And that's my own policy. That's my decision. I do not. I want to be able to get the machine working, just like I do with the machines, so many of the machines I have that I rescue. So I am going to do that very thing. So in the next video, I will show you how I do this. I'll try to get it captured in the video. You're going to have my giant hands here, but it's, we're working in tight spaces. But again, this is just something I noticed right away. And it certainly won't hurt to correct this, because this is very loose, and we need to get that fixed regardless. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and stay tuned for the next installment when I try to see what the machine is doing with its stitches. Again, I'll just do it by hand. I'll just turn the hand wheel, and we'll see, because it's threaded up. The owner has it threaded, and we'll see what we can find out. Stay tuned for the next episode.